भास्कराय विद्महे महद्विकराय धीमहि तन्नो आदित्य प्रचोदयात्.
May we contemplate upon Bhaskara, the shining one. Let us meditate upon the one that produces great illumination. May Aditya illumine us.
Excuse me, sir.
For centuries, the rising sun has been greeted with those words from the EDU-Upanishad. The sun, the source of light and supporter of life, is known by many names that signify his innumerable roles. Surya, the dispeller of darkness. Ravi, bestower of radiance. Mitra, the fountainhead of friendship. Hiranyagarbha, the golden seed of the solar system. And Bhaskara, the source of cosmic brilliance. The day is indeed flooded with that dazzling brilliance of the sun, concealing the rest of the universe from us. Only in the absence of the sun do we see the reality of the universe.
हिरण्मयेन पात्रेण सत्यस्यापीतं मुखं तत्त्वं पूषन्न पावनो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टवे.
The face of truth is hidden by the golden orb of the sun. That attractive orb of thine, O sun, please remove so that I may see the truth. As though granting that wish expressed in the EDU-Upanishad, the radiant orb of the sun sings.
Please put up your photos.
Silhouetted against the fading glow. Night then descends in its bejeweled splendor. Notaka. Another well-known star is Aldebaran, or Rohini, as it is called in the Indian tradition. Here we see Canopus or Agastya as his shield. Orion boasted to Artemis, the goddess of wild animals, that he could destroy all animals on the face of earth. As a result, he was put to death through the sting of a huge scorpion, which was later placed on the opposite end of the great sky dome. The Greeks could imagine in the fixed as well as common objects of use. Booties, Congress, Canis Major. 88 such constellations cover the sky and serve as a reference framework for the modern astronomer. A special place is occupied by the constellations of the zodiac, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and so on. Night after night, the stars rise in the east, follow circular paths, and set in the west. Sun does during the day. A night-long time-lapse whose unwavering devotion to God won him immortality as Dhruva Nakshatra. To realize that it was the earth that rotated about an axis and not the sun. On the riverbank go in the opposite direction. So it is with stars, which appear to move in the westerly direction, when in fact they are fixed in space. Against the backdrop of the fixed star patterns, a few celestial objects move in more complicated ways observed over the period of a year. The imaginary paths of the planets are skirted by these constellations. From these observations, natural to assume that the Earth stood still while Sun and the planets revolved around it. This was the geocentric model. In its most refined version, this model was put forward by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy around the 2nd century. For 15 centuries, the geocentric model held sway over astronomy. Then came Copernicus. His heliocentric model placed the sun at the center, with the planets, including the Earth, going around it. Copernicus wrote, "In the middle of all sits sun enthroned. In this most beautiful temple, could we place this luminary in any better position from which he can illuminate the whole at once? The sun sits as upon a royal throne, ruling his children. The planets would circle around him." Here then is the solar system, the sun at the center with the planets waltzing around it. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Way beyond, accessible only to telescopes, are the planets Uranus and Neptune. Our recent knowledge extends the solar system beyond the 8 planets. There are thousands of asteroids, tens of thousands of Kuiper belt objects, millions of small bodies in the Oort cloud. hot enough to melt lead, hot enough to melt lead, and at midnight it plunges to 180 degrees Celsius below zero, cold enough to make iron brittle as glass. The barren landscape of Mercury is covered with craters, with vast plains and huge slopes in between. Next in line is Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. In our own tradition, the planet is named after the great sage Shukra. Venus has been regarded as Earth's twin. Flashes, rend the rainy sky. A strange feature of Venus is that its direction of rotation is opposite to that of most of the planets. Hence, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Many of Venus's aspects are still shrouded in mystery. Were there once oceans on its surface? And why does it glow so strangely? After all, the goddess of love is entitled to her secrets. Third from the sun is the earth. To the ancient Greeks, Gaia, the earth goddess, was the symbol of plenty, as has been our own Bhudevi. The big blue marble covered with feather-like clouds. Blessed with life-sustaining environment and bedecked with marvels of nature, this is our home. Circling the earth is the moon, our nearest celestial neighbor, symbolized by the hunting goddess Diana. The rocky crust of moon's surface is pockmarked with craters. With no protective atmosphere, the temperature here swings between extremes. The moon became the first rung of the stepping ladder to space decades ago. India's Chandrayaan-1 space mission unambiguously established the presence of water on the moon. Later, in 2023, Chandrayaan-3 successfully landed on the moon. It studied the moon's soil and thin atmosphere. Beyond Earth, red planet Mars, named after the Roman god of war. We know the planet by the names Mangala and Angaraka. The poles are capped with carbon dioxide snow that changes from season to season. Its surface is covered with volcanoes and giant canyons. Mangalyaan is one of the many spaceships that studied Mars. The surface of Mars was studied by Mars explorer But as far as we know, there is not even a single living organism on Mars. As we travel farther from Mars, we come across asteroids. Tens of thousands of tumbling lumps of rock metal fragments whirling round the sun in a spread out belt. Small pieces of them, the meteoroids, glow when they enter Earth's atmosphere. These are the shooting stars, or meteors. Some survive their descent and offer us a glimpse of the matter present elsewhere in our solar system. Jupiter, the king of Roman gods, the king among the planets. We call the planet Guru or Brihaspati. More than 1,000 times the size of Earth, Jupiter is indeed a colossus. It is predominantly made of liquid hydrogen. Among the soft, shimmering colors of Jupiter's bands, the great red spot, a hurricane raging for centuries, glows prominently. Of some 50 satellites of Jupiter, the 4 major ones were first observed and studied by the great Galileo. Galileo's meager notes, with crosses marking the positions of the satellites changing with time, represent his revolutionary discovery. These are known as Galilean satellites. Galileo is also the name of the first man-made satellite. There were many more which surveyed Jupiter from close quarters. The farthest of the planets visible to the unaided eye is Saturn, the god of reaping to the Romans, and Shemi, sun's progeny in our religious law. Ruling over more than 8 moons, Saturn is girdled by a system of magnificent rings made up of icy chunks revolving around the planet. As seen from the Earth, the rings of Saturn seem to gently wobble up and down with a periodicity of 30 years. Consequently, the rings seem to disappear once in 15 years for a day or two. Spacecraft Cassini studied Saturn in stunning detail in a mission spanning over a decade. Far away from the Sun, visible only through telescopes, Uranus and Neptune follow their paths in slow majesty. Uranus, deriving its name from the father of Saturn and grandfather of Jupiter. Bluish-green planet with multiple rings, it spins about an axis almost parallel to its orbital plane. Because of this tilt, it experiences summers and winters lasting for 42 years. The rings around the planet were co-discovered by Professor J.C. Bhattacharya and K. Kuppuswamy of Indian Institute of Astrophysics. Neptune, named after the god of the sea, glowing pale blue. It is the farthest planet from the sun. Neptune has high clouds as well as bright and dark spots. Occasionally, we have unusual visitors, members of the solar system that travel far in their journey. Perhaps from Kuiper Belt or Oort Cloud. Strange objects with long tails. These are the comets. We know now that these beautiful apparitions are made of frozen gas and dust that heat up and stream away as gas tails when they approach the sun. Let us return to the sun, having briefly glimpsed his family. Compared to the planets, the sun is gigantic. 1,000,000 Earths easily fit inside it. The dazzling disk of the sun is covered by the moon during a total solar eclipse. Then we can see the sun's atmosphere. The outer part of this atmosphere, known as corona, shimmers like streaked patterns of flame. Scientists have observed the sun using special filters that allow only X-rays, ultraviolet or infrared to reveal interesting phenomena. From time to time, at the sun's edge, huge bubbles of gas burst. Hurtling jets hundreds of thousands of kilometers long. Prominences, as they are called, form graceful loops hovering for a few months and fall back onto the sun. On the brilliant surface of the sun, there are small dark patches that change in number and location. These are sunspots, comparatively cooler regions with intense magnetic fields. Their motion across the sun reveals its rotation. The surface of the sun boils and bubbles, emitting continuous stream of particles called solar wind. The sun, hot ball of gas, composed of hydrogen with some helium and other elements. The temperature ranges from 6,000 degrees at the surface to some 15 million degrees at the core. It is here, at this fiery inferno, that the sun's energy is generated by thermonuclear reactions. The same nuclear fusion that explodes the hydrogen bomb keeps the sun shining. Each second, the sun radiates more energy than man has used since the beginning of civilization. Because of that radiation, we exist at this moment. For all its fire and fury, the sun is but an ordinary star, very much like the thousands we see at night. Where does the sun stand in relation to the universe around us, which he hides so effectively during the day?